unfortunately I'm getting pummeled by sand and stone. Good morning, everybody. Today is wicked windy in the desert. It's a hunker down day. It feels very weird to say that. Usually we're hunkering down when there's a big storm or a big snowstorm, not when we're in the van. You can't even go outside and stand in it or walk in it because me personally, I am getting blown over. So what I'm doing is organizing the van, which this is needed to happen. We haven't been on it, we haven't gone through things, and we like to go through everything and get rid of what we haven't used for a period of time. So I'm starting in the bottom cabinet and I have everything pulled out. So you can see down in here, I organized our canned goods into a container. I've got everything pulled out on my lap, some things up on the counter, things over there. Bob's working hard on the computer over there. But it's organization day, and so I'm going to take you through the cabinets and tell you what I have in there and show you what I got on the van and how I'm organizing it. So if anybody came in right now, the van is a complete disaster because I have everything pulled out of the cabinets. I'm doing a wash down as well. I haven't done that since we've been new to the van, and a bunch of dirt and dust gets collected in there, but there is a pile of stuff everywhere. Even though we're living on the van and we have limited space, we still accumulate a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily being used. Look at this huge curling iron. I used that when I had longer hair. I don't need to use this anymore. I think I'm gonna have to donate that. That takes up a lot of space. So as many of you know that live in small spaces and trying to stay organized, bins are really a godsend to keep things from rolling around and scattering about. And so I do have bins on board and trying to keep them organized. Sometimes when you need something like Goo Gone, it's like, do you keep that now since you haven't used it for a long time because you could be using that space for something else? That's always the dilemma on living in small spaces. So I'm actually going to keep it for now because I have to clean off some stuff, and you know, you put things in smaller containers. This is actually bleach into a smaller bottle. The bigger bottle I had was not gonna work, and so you have to downsize everything. So that'll stay because I use that often. So those are some of the tips and tricks so far that I wanted to share with you and that I personally use on board. I do have this traveling hair dryer that I've kept for years, ever since we started traveling actually, and so that does not take up a ton of space. It actually fits in the palm of my hand, so I'll keep that. I haven't been taking it internationally, but something I'm having a hard time parting with because you never know, and I'm not a you never know kind of person. So if I haven't used it in another couple months, I'm going to donate that to Goodwill as well. I even am trying to be conscious of the size of like plastic bag containers that I have. I have a gallon size one, I have a sandwich size one, so I'm going to consolidate those and put those in one because I can't give up the space to have two of those in the cabinets themselves because I want to use them for other things like food. So that's another thing that I do is I consolidate. I try to get rid of the boxes because those actually take up unusable space, and every inch counts on board. The great thing about the induction stovetops that I have, they're nice and stackable. They're very thin, and so I can actually stack 2 of them without taking up so much space on the second cabinet here. And so I love the induction stovetops, and I love using them because then the countertop is free when I'm not cooking, and I can use that space for other things. I've cleaned out this shelf entirely. I have my pots and pans typically on this side, and I only have these pans right here. I only have a, this size one, and I have the smaller size. I have the strainer stacked inside with the cover inside the strainer, and then I have 1 frying pan because that's all I have the space for on board. So now the bottom cabinets are all organized. Everything has a spot that's not rolling around. All the cans are organized again. Nice and clean. Even have more space now that I cleaned everything up. So that is the importance of being in small spaces, is to keep things organized and in their place. Now it's time to tackle this cabinet up here where all our food is. I need to go through everything and give that a spot too. There's always a balance when you live in an RV or in the van of using too much of one thing and not another, and you have to make choices between water, baby wipes, creating a lot more trash because you're using these, or vice versa. So it's something that you are continually thinking about when you're living in a van and an RV, and trying to preserve space, water, trash, all of that. So yeah, that's the dilemma all of us van lifers and RVers go through often. Who buys a giant bottle of sriracha? I don't have any room on board for this. However, I needed sriracha for multiple dishes, and I ended up with a big bottle because they didn't have a small bottle. Granted, if you're buying smaller things, you're not getting your money's worth, but I would prefer to have a tiny bottle of sriracha. Probably what I will do at some point is put it into a small container that I have on board, but right now it's fitting and it's working. So I do buy smaller container things because I don't have the room for it. It's not economical, but that's what you got to do when you live in a van. And look at this. Because of my coffee addiction, all of these things are used for making coffee, and I like coffee from whole beans, so I need a grinder. I prefer a press, and then this is a fantastic water heater, so this takes up 1/4 of the cupboard space. Maybe I should give up coffee. Don't think so. Okay, all the cabinets above are emptied, cleaned out. This is all the food we have up there. Holy smokes, it's a lot, but really not a lot. But the best thing about living in the van is you got to stay organized, and I've shown these in other videos, but I love these shower caddies. They are fantastic for small items. I can just pull this out, look in it, look what I'm looking for, instead of having all these smaller things fall in the back of the dishes or behind all the larger things, or just rolling around up in there. So I have bigger spices on board. I have packaged items in there, sauces, teas, you know, again, all of the smaller things that I want to keep organized and accessible, because otherwise everything falls in the back and then I can't find it. So now off to organizing it. I have some tea here that I need to take out of this box because this is taking up a ton of room, and then I'll throw it in these pockets here, which works really great. So that is what I'm doing to organize this, and then seeing if I can put anything in smaller packages potentially. But yeah, it feels so good to get everything organized. So I need to get at this project right now. Check out all this room up here now that I have it organized and cleaned out into smaller packaging. Only problem is now I have all this trash. Which we only have a small trash can on board. So that is going to have to go in a day for sure. The other thing that is a great space saver is the SodaStream. We love bubbly water, and we don't have room on board to put cases of water anywhere, so this is super convenient, and you just make your bottle at a time, and yeah, that's it. Otherwise you have the big boxes of cans sitting around, and we don't have any room for that. So definitely recommend a SodaStream on board if you love soda, bubbly water, what have you, because that works great. The other thing that I organized today was our catch-all utility drawer, utensils drawer, spices drawer, and so I pulled everything out of there. I put everything in bags. I put ties around everything. This is where we keep a lot of our miscellaneous tools, pieces, and parts. These are my spices in its own personal drawer, and then I have the silverware underneath the napkins. This is where I have my toiletry bag and my toothpaste, and then the other cooking utensils and the cutting board on top, and then some things tucked in the back, bigger items like my deodorant and tape and cards and things. So it really pays off to go through all your stuff and everything in your cabinets and reorganize on a regular basis so you can find things, stay on top of where things are at, and it just makes everything feel cleaner and better. So that is what I did today. Quite adventurous, quite thrilling probably to watch, but this is the day in the life of how we live sometimes, and we've been on the van and it needs to get organized and it needs to get cleaned. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and keep the comments coming. We love those. Have a great day.